Craig Kimbrough, Positive Guru, PositiveGuru.com. As always, glad to have you along as we move into our 10 minutes of metaphysics and miracles. Today, I wanted to talk about longevity. I've been thinking about this for a while. I've been telling so many people about the Blue Zones videos. The Blue Zones are where the areas that people live to be centurions, more than any other areas. Centurions, people that live to be 100 years or older. And I found it to be extremely fascinating because they talk about these different lifestyles, different ways of living that make a difference in terms of how much longer you live. And of course, it's like the guy who put on this series, he did like a study, and he studied all these different cultures and traveled to all these different parts of the world and talked to all these different people, and then noticed the similarities. And then he pointed out these blue zones, and he showed all the different things that they were doing that seemed to make them to live much longer than other cultures. I've been thinking about it all week, and then in addition to this, I ended up opening up I think it's Richard Bach's book, The Secret World of Serendipity, or The World of Serendipity. And in that book, the page that I opened to was talking about a centurion, and he was talking about how long this one man had lived. And he was giving his reasons as to why he felt this man had lived so long. And I do believe that there are certain things that create longevity. One of the things that he was talking about that created longevity was just this man's spirit in which he lived. He ran a marathon at the age of 100, and it was like it wasn't long. Maybe I don't know how long it was. Or this race, I don't know if it was 100 meters or 100, whatever it was. He had let the public know that he thought it was fitting that he ran because he was 100 years old, and he won. He was racing against, I guess, 60-year-olds, and but yet he won this race. And he was just talking about this guy's outlook on life and the way in which he lived. That was the page I opened up to last night, just flipping through a book. And at that time, I still did not have any idea I was going to be talking about this. Then I came in here, and my friend was talking about someone that we knew, who or I knew of. I sometimes had conversations with, because he helped he ran a shop that we both go to, and I was surprised to find out that he had passed, and what I consider to be an early age, in his 40s. And I'm not saying that if we have some debilitating disease that we should have lived longer, we should have done this, we should have done that. No, I'm not even going to put that out there. But I still believe, from everything that I've seen in life, that there are things we can do to enhance how long we live here. My teacher, Mr. Embrister, he used to say, this science adds years to your life, life to your years. And I wrote about it in my book, 30 Days of Enlightenment and Miracles, and this page 156. He would say it all the time, this science adds years to your life, life to your years, talking about the meditation science. And of course, they have studies about the effects of meditation on anxiety, on health even. And I still remember that I learned years ago that it could make a difference in your body, just because when I was 20-ish or so, when I first got onto the meditation path, I had this ridiculous back pain I could not get rid of. And even I was going to the chiropractor, it was still taking visit upon visit upon visit. He did point out that it happened because of a car accident that I had years before, because he pinpointed approximately when it happened and everything else, and then asked me if I had some type of accident or something like that, and I explained to him, yes, I did. And whatever the case is, after I started meditating, this was years later, because I stopped going to the chiropractor, still had the pain, Sometimes I have to roll out of bed as a young man. But after getting into the meditation, very shortly afterwards, back pain was gone. I forgot I even used to have the back pain until I saw him years later when I was going in with my wife after she had an epidural, and she was having some back pains, and he was asking me about my back pain. I told him I didn't have it anymore. He started asking me, "Well, what do you mean you don't have it anymore? You've been seeing a chiropractor?" I said, "No." And then, as I described my lifestyle, he said, "It's that meditation and that breathing." And then I remembered that it happened shortly after I got onto the meditation path. So I'm convinced that it adds years to your life, life to your years. And I won't even talk about all the ways it added life to my years, made my years more lively. And I said, Jesus came to wake the dead, make you more lively. Not just Jesus, but those great ones who understand the secrets of life came to wake us up. But I'm going to read the page right here. This is page 155. My teacher was 85 when I met him. This is from my book. This is not teacher, Mr. M. Brister. He was 85 when I met him, and he lived to be 100. He was very much alive and full of life. Even though I was in my 20s, he was in his 80s, he was so much fun to be around. He credited his longevity and liveliness to meditating. When people see me, they can't believe my age. They say I look so much younger than they would have guessed. I tend to live my life like a movie, filled with adventure. I see myself as an exciting character. I also watch movies that remind me of the wonderful traits I am meant to portray. I credit my youthfulness and my sense of adventure to the meditative science. Meditation on the proper centers and vibration within dramatically reduces stress. The reduction of stress equates to better flow of life force, better digestion, fewer diseases and ailments. This adds years to your life. Turning your attention to the divine within removes fears and constrictions that we often don't even realize we have. It gives you vision, understanding, and abilities that transform your life into a marvelous adventure. This, of course, adds life to your years. And as I said, when I was reading that book by Richard Bach, and he was talking about this man, he was just talking about his whole approach to life, how he rarely spoke about negativity, how he would seem to always be in a good frame of mind. These things keep us young, taking time to go within, to relieve the stress within you. These things keep us young. I also maintain, well, matter of fact, they say that a vegetarian diet, which happens to be the type of diet that I eat, although I eat way too many carbs and I got to get rid of these pounds I put on since Thanksgiving, but they say a vegetarian diet adds 10 years to your life. It's when they study the blue zones, they talk about lifestyle changes. They talk about people getting together in groups, whether it be in a church group or people that just discuss life or just come together in camaraderie on a regular basis, how this adds a certain number of years to your life. People who continue to stay in motion and not, it could just be gardening, taking walks. These things add years to your life. If you haven't seen it, take time to watch the Blue Zones videos. You'll be shocked. Of course, that's all I can say is that you will be shocked by all the different little lifestyle things we can do to add to our life. I've been noticing way too often that there are too many people, in my opinion, that are passing on at what I consider younger ages than I would have expected to see. And again, I'm not saying in every situation it was a lifestyle thing. I'm not saying that at all, but I'm just saying that we should do what we can so we can be here for those who love us. Something else that I read years ago, and I believe it, and I've seen it. People who are on a mission, who have a reason to get up in the morning, have something that they can't wait to dive into. They live longer. I believe this. Now, does that mean that this person who has this mission, who maybe had some pre-existing condition, is going to live longer than this person who doesn't have this pre-existing condition? I don't know about all that, but I believe they live longer than they would if they did not have this mission. Sometimes we will not allow ourselves to leave here unless we've completed certain things. If you ever heard this, you hear it all the time when people are in the hospital and whatnot, and you see it on television. But even if you have dealt with doctors in hospital situations, sometimes they'll say that they've lost the will to live. The will to live keeps us here. Having reasons to be alive keeps us here. Having a mission, something that you want to give to the world, makes you more alive and live longer. Taking time to go within leads us to our true selves and gives us direction and enhances all of these things. If you do not have a meditation process that you practice right now, you can always watch my how to meditate video or highest form of meditation video to explain why we meditate in the way in which we do. And then how to meditate video will actually walk you through the meditation process. The meditation process of meditating on the own vibration that sounded like within. I'm sure you can find it on the YouTube station. I think we made it real prominent where you can see it. If not, you can also go to the website, positiveguru.com, or you can also get this sweatshirt I have for other positive guru fashion. And if you click on the meditation section, the videos are right there. Until next time, peace and blessings to you all. Craig Kimbrough, Positive Guru. See you then. Ask anybody had any